Are you scared? Do you want to talk about aliens? Hope everyone had a good Valentine's Day. Hello, guys. It's Annette. Ever since the beginning of New Year's, I have been really productive. I've had a whole list of video ideas that I want to get to, and just many ideas are spilling out. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, I made a video about the egg conspiracy, like the chicken egg conspiracy. I'll link in the description. I wanted to make an update about the egg conspiracy. More I found out about and learned, but a lot more started happening in the world that I kind of don't want to move on to the rest of my list until we talk about the elephant in the room. I obviously wanted to wait a few days before making this video because it seems like stuff keeps happening and piling on. We're talking about the objects in the sky that are getting shot down by our U.S. military. We're talking about everything that's going on in Ohio. The egg update, and the Jeffrey Epstein's list is coming out apparently. I'm sorry, I just keep grabbing for all the weird stuff going on. I think I'm going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl going on just because I'm in Phoenix and it happened in Phoenix apparently. So first, let's talk about the aliens that everyone's talking about. Before I get started, if you know me, you might have even started following me because you found me on a podcast talking about aliens. I love aliens. I think we're aliens. We're just like the dumb baby aliens of the universe, like the redheaded stepchildren, let's say, that have to be protected at all costs. I think there's good aliens like the Pleiadians and the Nordics. I think there's bad ones like the Dracos. I'm playing a Hogwarts Legacy right now. Okay, so there was a Chinese spy balloon that went across the whole US kind of thing that got shot down later. How many have we shot down already? Is there 3? There was one that went over Alaska without anyone knowing, and then it was in Canada, got shot down. I think they said that there was other balloons found in different countries. That that does sound like something China would do. It's oh, we had one too. We shot it down too, yeah. Anywho's, as much as I would love aliens to come down, they are far too civilized and their technology is wait, they wouldn't be shot down by us. They're way smarter than us. Now, there's a lot of conspiracies that come with the whole balloon thing, so these are all alleged. And anytime we talk about conspiracies, they're true. We just have to call them conspiracies because that's how we're conditioned. It's so weird. Anywho's, there's Russian ships and stuff ported outside different areas of US. Something fishy's going on here. And I also heard that a lot of the balloons are made by us. I don't know. What I think, back in the 50s, people didn't know as much as we know now with technology and the internet. And you could kind of tell people in the 50s stuff that they'll believe. I think the government was able to fake stuff easier back then. When I was a kid in school, I remember being told that everyone's blood is blue, and then until you get cut or something, and then it hits oxygen, then your blood turns red. We were told stupid stuff. I feel like the government is banking on us all being mentally challenged and for this to work just to distract us from other stuff that's going on. And the best way to do it is to start a war. I feel like these balloons are pointing more towards war, and that is scarier than aliens coming. But hopefully, if a big war does come, then the real aliens will come and help us out. Because apparently if we get destroyed as a race, it'll mess up everything in the universe, and they kind of want to keep peace with us and oh my god, look what they're doing, we have to go save them. That's what they told President Eisenhower. So I feel like the government was able to trick people in the 50s earlier, and they kind of want to test out if they can do it again. They already tested it out with COVID and the whole pandemic thing to see what we would comply to and what we would believe. And half the country did comply. So apparently it's 1950 and half the country thinks we're shooting down aliens. Yes, that's where we are. And this just shows to the government. Yes, government, you can still trick people like it's 1950 because apparently people have no common sense. Okay, with all these topics, please tell me what you think in the comments below, what you think's going on here. But what's this distraction for? War. Why? Let's just move to what's going on in Palestine, East Palestine, in Ohio with the freaking train derailment. And now they're just happening everywhere. I have learned it's Palestine now, right? It's Palestine, not Palestine. That double chin's everywhere. It's because I'm drinking soda. Now, it's really bad in Ohio if you haven't heard about this. There was a train derailment, and then there was a fire when that happened, and then there was all these chemicals involved, and then they burned down those to be safe. But apparently that makes acid rain. Apparently they said that the air's fine, but it's messing with the air quality, the soil, the water supply for like a lot of people. Everyone freaking east of the Mississippi, pretty much. It has leaked into the sewer. It has leaked into all these rivers. The main one is the Ohio River, and all this connects into the Gulf of Mexico, the Mississippi River. This is really going to be catastrophic. And it's messing with all these other states going on. There was some going on. I heard there was one in Tucson. I'm in Arizona, so I'm like, what? I heard the other day there was one in Tucson. There's one in Texas. And what do these all have in common? They're all owned by the same railroad company. And the name of the railroad company, like, slips my mind. But, of course, they're owned by Vanguard and BlackRock and Chase Mortgage. Who owns BlackRock? Well, it's like shareholders. So that's Vanguard. Who owns Vanguard? Oh, that's BlackRock. Who owns JP Morgan? Oh, that's Vanguard. They all own each other, which isn't that surprising. They are the biggest company. They're all like, they own everybody to some extent. And they're not showing any of this on the news. I was on TikTok because it's everywhere on TikTok. And I saw someone in China show that they have this website that's like the, not Facebook, Twitter that they have in China. And that's all on their front page is what's going on in Ohio. And the girl in China was explaining that all the comments, because it's all in Chinese, we can't read it, but in the comments, it's saying that, oh, they deserve it. They have such a horrible government. This is what they get for blaming, us for COVID. And she was even saying, like, even when something like this horrible happens to people, we can't unite. And I think we should have more communication back and forth between countries because they would be so pissed. And also with this derailment, there's no help. There's like the Red Cross is nowhere to be seen. FEMA, there's no assistance to help them during this disaster. Apparently it doesn't qualify for assistance because it has to be over 50 cars that get derailed, which that's ludicrous. There should be something about chemicals, like if it's a dangerous chemical or something, just like a scam, like insurance, like car insurance. Like they keep telling the state, yeah, we'll let you know when it reaches like a crisis to where we can assist you. But if it's in the writing that they can't be assisted because like there's not going to be more cars derailed, like it already got derailed. Stop making empty promises if the insurance doesn't cover this spill. And the Ohio River goes to the Mississippi River, which gives drinking water to pretty much the whole East Coast. If it gets this serious, if everyone moves over to the West Coast where I am, fuck it. I'm just going to draw a picture of the United States and explain this. This is literally the worst picture of the United States. Okay, let me try to explain it to you. That line in the middle, that is, let's say it is the Mississippi River and it goes into the Gulf of Mexico. So all these chemicals are going there. So that means that part of the country is assed out of water. Let's just say this gets really bad with the drinking water and everyone moves over to the West Coast. Well, Lake Mead has been in a drought. Lake Mead is where Nevada and Arizona is, I want to say. And we're having issues with water over here where I'm going to have to move out of Arizona because we're not going to have any water either. Lake Mead keeps decreasing. There's going to be no water left soon. That's where the Hoover Dam is when you drive over to Vegas and you cross that dam. That's going to be Lake Mead. So that's going to Lake Mead gives water to California, Arizona, Utah, and Nevada. So In a couple years, we on the West Coast, we're not going to have drinking water. So the part that's white is, I guess, the only part that has drinking water. Animals are dying. Chickens are dying. Chickens are having the worst couple years, let me tell you. Even Erin Brockovich is making her way down there, and she's talking about this, and this needs to be all over front page news because it's going to affect all of us, and it is affecting all of us. What I think about BlackRock and Vanguard and all them owning it, the only ties I can see is that this seems like it was done on purpose. It seems like they're trying to eliminate us. It seems like they have all this going on. I feel like a war is going to break out. They're messing with our water supply, our food, to where we're going to be in such shambles when Epstein's list does get shown. Like, we don't care about these celebrities. And I hate when the internet says, oh, this is Beyonce's internet. If you're someone that's been into conspiracies for a long time, like before the whole Jeffrey Island thing, like if you've been into conspiracies for like 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years, then you kind of have a weird thing about celebrities. You don't like them. You kind of start looking down on Hollywood. They're liars. Like, they're paid to lie to you. Like, my childhood and like my idea of celebrities was already gone when I started learning about like Oprah, Jim Carrey, Bill Murray, Kevin Spacey. When everything came out with Kevin Spacey, that was a big one. And then I started learning about Tom Hanks and all of them. People that understand how evil these like celebrities are, we're not calling the internet Beyonce's internet. Now, when it comes to the flight logs, we have to look at the flights to the island. That is what's wrong with this country, is we're not supposed to idolize celebrities. It's weird. They're bad people. Ugh. I think it's all a distraction, because if we can't eat, if there's a war going on, we're not going to give one crap if this list comes out. It'll be the last of our worries. And there's a lot of important people on this list. So I think they're trying to make our lives miserable before it comes out. So it's not even going to be on our radar, because we're not going to care. Talking about celebrities, I want to talk about Super Bowl and the Super Bowl halftime. Okay, so the Super Bowl was in Glendale, Arizona. That's like 30 minutes away from me. If you know anything about Arizona, Glendale is the Compton of Arizona. I remember we had, I say a couple years back, but who knows? It was probably over 10 years ago. But we had Super Bowl in Phoenix when the stadium was brand new. So I remember being excited that year. And I remember taking pictures by the new stadium because the stadium was new. I was excited about the stadium. But like, I wasn't really excited about the Super Bowl. I don't even remember. Like, I don't like sports. I hate when people say, we won that year. And it's like, no, you didn't win. The people that's getting paid a lot of money for just kicking a ball won. Anywho, I didn't even know that the Super Bowl was happening in Phoenix this year. I care that little about sports. I didn't find out until the day before. So in Phoenix, our weather gets really nice earlier than everyone else. Obviously, it's Phoenix. It gets super hot here. So we have this thing called Waste Management Open. And it's a huge golf tournament. It's probably the biggest in the U.S. We have it every year. It's a big deal. Arizona is known for getting drunk. I used to be the biggest party girl. I was a bar rat. I was a drinker. I don't drink anymore. But Arizona is a great place to come if you really like alcohol. Well, this golf tournament, the Open, is huge. People come from all over because it's the biggest party. It's really just about getting drunk when you go. I actually got a job at Waste Management just to get free tickets and to be able to like go, but I didn't stay that long. Don't work for the company. It's a horrible company to work for. The Super Bowl was going on at the same time as the Phoenix Open. The Super Bowl was happening at the same time as this golf tournament. Okay, Arizona is full of resorts. We have a bunch of casinos and resorts. So thank goodness we do have enough resorts and stuff to hold everybody, but we're not Vegas. It was good for our economy, but I didn't go outside at all that weekend because no, I can't. And there was all these famous people parading around Costco's people were just like, oh, that famous person. They were just they were eating it up. And that's just, oh my God, they're They're celebrities and they have done bad things to get to where they are. So I want to talk about people saying that the Rihanna, I don't know how to say her name, Rihanna halftime show was bad or whatever, and I want to say what I think about it. Let me just warn you, I do not like dance pop music. I do not like Beyonce. Miley Cyrus is like an embarrassing someone you went to high school with on Facebook, being really embarrassing on Facebook. Taylor Swift, who? Adele, Lady Gaga, don't get me started. Oh, So I'm not a pop dance girl. Like, I used to like Destiny's Child, like in high school or college. I don't remember. No, I don't do pop music. So for the guys that keep saying that it was bad, I give her props for getting on those lifts that were moving up and down because it was put together in Glendale. In Glendale, girl. That is props. Props for standing on that. I wouldn't zip line in Glendale. I wouldn't. But the guys don't understand. It was a marketing ploy. It was they were having that brand chip. She has a makeup company, Fendi. I don't know the name, but she was having a bunch of influencers from TikTok come to Arizona while we were having too much going on in the first place, but have them invite them to the thing. She put on the makeup during the Super Bowl. It was all about the marketing for this makeup line, because it's not about entertainment anymore. It's just about getting the money. And I don't know why the woke always like wants to praise like Rihanna, but then they always talk shit about capitalism. And it's like she literally went there pregnant to sing her big hits, not really do that much, just because she had a marketing campaign. And what she should have done is brought Michaela on stage, or stopped in the middle or at the end and said, Michaela from Lashgate, if you know anything about Lashgate, which you probably do, and point it in the audience and go, I brought you here, Michaela, because you know what you did, girl. You know what you did. That's another reason why I didn't want to go out that weekend. Like, I wouldn't, if I ran into that young little girl, Michaela, I can't. Okay, I just got out of the shower and I'm doing dishes and cooking dinner. But I heard a rumor just now that the Super Bowl loved Glendale so much that they're thinking about doing Super Bowl all the time in Arizona. I know next year they're doing like Vegas and then the following year New Orleans, but then after that they might always do it in Arizona. I don't know if it's true. It's just a rumor I heard, but that's silly. Last but not least, I want to talk about the egg conspiracy. I did a video I'm going to link in the description about the egg conspiracy, but it was talking about why eggs are so much now. Inflation is one reason. That chicken flu that's going on is another reason. And people that own chickens weren't laying eggs. And they do lay less eggs in the winter, but it was kind of weird how no one's chickens were laying eggs at all. Then I went on to say it's because the main feed that they were feeding them, I don't remember the name, guys. You could go back in the video. Something Trader Supply, whatever the like main feed of chickens that they eat has changed their formula to where it wasn't absorbing water anymore. It didn't smell the same. It didn't look the same. The chickens weren't eating it. And if the chickens were, they weren't laying eggs. So whoever owns this brand made the chickens stop laying eggs. So people that have chickens, they started buying different feed, more expensive feed that they would find at their hay and feed store. They would let them free range and eat seeds off the floor, grass, bugs, stuff like that. They would find alternative ways for their chickens to eat, and then they started laying eggs again. Well, I was watching Candace Owen, as one does. I love her. I don't support everything she says. Some stuff's a little weird. But anywho, she was saying that the people who make this like chicken feed stuff, that Trader whatever supply name, fill in the blank. I'm on a roll, okay? I am not doing any research right now. I'm talking out my ass, obviously. Anyway, that brand is owned by Purina. Purina, the dog food kind of thing. Okay, so they're owned by Purina, and Purina's in cahoots. Allegedly, this is all allegedly, but they're in cahoots, or they're owned, or they have like a sister company, which is the number one U.S. egg distribution. So the person who distributes eggs to all America owns Purina and made this food that people who own chickens can't have eggs anymore, and now they're going to make eggs anywhere from $6 to $15. Because why wouldn't they? Because they can. Because they could do that to us. Look what they're doing now. Karina, isn't that what the sign?
Oh yeah, you're right.
So I went to the hay and feed store, and there was an advertisement for chicken feed because it's chicken season, and it was a Purina, like the brand, like the logo. It was their advertisement. Anywho, I did want to come back making a video about like a productivity list or like what sugar does to the body before. Like I had to start talking about what was going on in the world with all these conspiracies going on. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Just remember, where you choose to place your focus determines your perception of your reality. So if this conspiracy stuff and everything on the news scares you and gives you fear, then by all means log off and don't pay attention to it. If you're like me and you find it fun and intriguing and exciting, then still you have to focus on positive stuff. It's very important for our vibrations to be high at all times. I'm sure more crazy stuff is going to happen before I edit and upload this video. Send all your love to Ohio. Those poor people, and wherever else this is happening. I don't even know how bad it is in Texas or the other derailments. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll talk to you next time. That's not how I end it. It's not. What do I say when I'm done? If you like this one, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, it really does help me out, and I'll see you in the next one. Boy, 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 boy.